or not. You know, I'm gonna turn this on. I want whimsy. I'm wearing a stupid button-up flannel shirt. Because I'm a hipster, apparently. I'm drinking some, Thai tea. You can't see it. There you go. Some Thai tea. It's very good. Just we don't have any coffee. So, hello. How are you doing? You know, let me get the chat. Chat. Pop out. And when you turn it like this, when you switch it like that, come on. Hi. I already said hi. I've kind of run out of things to do on stream until Art Fight, which is not good because we have the rest of this month and the entirety of June. So I don't know what we're gonna be doing. Because, they haven't announced what the Art Fight teams are gonna be this year, and the second they announce the teams, then I'm gonna be in overdrive, because this year I want to theme my characters. Like, pick characters that kind of match the theme. And depending on what team I choose, because I always theme my assets depending on which team I choose, but this, you know, it's like, if the characters match both themes of the teams, I thought, you know, that would be really fun, because then we're, like, truly embodying the spirit. I'm gonna cuff my sleeves because while it is a little bit chilly in here, I got a bruise on my arm. I don't know where it came from. Yeah, chit chat. Slightly different background because I do not give half of a damn. Background music's there. If I was wearing headphones, I'd play different background music, but since I don't really want to risk it because, like, for no mic streams, I think having actual music playing in the background is fine because certain sections are going to be muted. So, if I'm not talking, that's fine. I got 2 spoons here. When did this happen? So in the meantime, while we figure out what to do for Art Fight, we're just gonna do furries. I have this one OC that I adopted a long time ago. This is them. And I have drawn them in multiple different forms before. I've drawn her in anthro form. And I kind of enjoy the idea of her being more punk rock. I only did this because there was a challenge with to draw your OC in this. So I was like, alright, well, whatever. So I want to actually give her an official design because I just haven't been. My cop-out was, oh, just draw them in whichever way you like. And then whatever you decide, as long as you follow the color palette patternings and your species, as long it's okay. So it's like, you know what, fuck it. Since I went through that whole side quest of designing myself as a mustelid, and all of that material is now just in the void. Not banished to the Shadow Realm, just in the void. So it's like, you know what, let's do something with that. So I picked a few. Decided on this outfit, and I thought, you know what, that'll be perfect for them. I don't know what the hairstyle is going to be, because this is the hairstyle I chose for myself, but I kind of liked this raccoon tail feather thing that was behind their ear, so we're sticking with that. So lower the opacity on these. And here we go. Hopefully, I'll never have to like run out of things to do on stream again. And it's not because I'm not doing anything. I clearly am. I have a lot of things I can be doing, but just not all of them are streamable. And by streamable, I mean, you know, I'm writing for my stories, I'm working on videos. And when I'm working on videos, I have streamed the editing process before. That was janky as hell because my poor computer can only handle so much. Been taking my Allertech every day, but some days, ugh, it just is having a lot of trouble keeping up. I think this is either a shirt or a bra set. I don't know what it is, so I'm just gonna draw it, add it anyway. Just becauseers. I don't know if I'm going to make her clothes pink as well. Or if I'm gonna keep her a her. Because this is the original design that I adopted them from DeviantArt. I have the original designer credited on their toy house. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. So stupid. Just because I said I'm bored in the title of the stream, I just remembered that scene from Amazing Digital Circus. I'm bored! Let's go to the next adventure! It's like, damn it. Every other thing I say or do, it all reminds me of him. God, that was a ride. I don't know if this is gonna have fur on it, but I do know I'm keeping this design. These are shoes or what? Sent out little buzzers there. say the lightning round episode for Amazing Digital Circus was the funniest episode. Not my favorite episode, that still belongs to episode 3, Mystery of Mildenhall Manor. That's still my favorite episode. But, oh, God, Untitled is so funny. Wait. That, yeah, the lightning round episode was Untitled, right? Right? We have the Big Tops versus the evil Big Tops. Beautiful day for a game, right, Bubble? Here we have... So, we're still on mission, trying to get my sister to watch Amazing Digital Circus. I know the more I push her, the more she'll resist, because, you know, the same way. So what I'm still on mission trying to get her to join Art Fight. Which has not been easy, let me tell you. Versus the evil Big Tops. Sup, fuckers? I'm Evil Pomni. Just gonna add this. I'm Bazoofle. Yippa-dippa-dabba-dippa-dippa-dippa-dip. That wasn't a nice suggestion. One moment. Sorry about that. It's almost sounded like one of the dogs got sick, so I had to make sure that wasn't the case. Oh my god. Thai tea is really good. These armbands, they probably are. Yeah, since these things are pink, we'll make them these things. I'll just move that over here and then just mark where things are gonna go. Hey Waffles, how you doing? Make this pink. So that's there. Of the shit. Maybe the. God dang, what's going on? The teal toes? Excuse you? Or maybe these are armbands, so it's not actually pink, it's just pink under there. And that's part of her outfit. But her legs would have these designs. Doing well. I've been working on some actual animation. I'm working on a run cycle. Nice. That's the biggest hurdle with animation. You gotta make it. You're drawing something is fake, and you have to make it look real. People know it's not real, but you have to make them believe that it is. That is real movie magic. Everyone knows it's not real, but you make them believe it's real. One thing you probably already know this, but when doing a walk or run cycle, remember that the body bounces. Now, unless they're like a trained dancer, because like, if you watch Chris Evans when he plays Captain America, when he runs, his head does not bob, which is why he's so fast, because he's also a professionally trained dancer. And because normally when you run, you do this, because you know you're hopping from one foot to the next, basically. Just tiny things to keep track of. Also, if you wouldn't walk like that, your characters probably won't walk like that unless they have some sort of reason where that would be the case. I don't know if this is going to be a shirt or a bra thing, so we're just going to keep it like that. Of course, this is pink. Hank. And that's pink. The hardest part about her, I think, is going to be the face. That has the most detail. And if I show her back, that's going to peek through, but she's mostly going to be wearing clothes, because I put clothes on my furries. I used to not, but now it's like, nah. Put some clothes on, baby girl. Who had the best... whoops. Actually, no, I should do that. I should save. Characters... And I should probably also give her an official name. Because I have not. Actual rep. You got that. Okay, yeah. Some advice and practice. I think I'm starting to get it. Oh, goody. I can close that one. through it. I will put those in there, just in case I want to carry over some design aspects. My cat smacks her lips in her sleep, and it's so funny. Alright. Oh yeah, since that pink doesn't appear here, it's just on her chest. Ah, okay. That means that is like that. If you hear noises going on from outside, that's just the lawnmower. And what's not. It's gonna be a low effort, low energy stream, I'm realizing, because I'm tired and I don't know what I'm doing. What's new? For her hair, I think I've kept it consistently white with a bit of pink. I don't know what else to call this color. Because that is just pink. Since her eyebrows are that color. Maybe I'll reverse it. Have her roots be that red and her lengths are white. That would work because she's got the white stripe going down. I could change her design slightly because she just has this marking here, and personally I would like flip it so it's like the dial home signal for Stargate. At least Earth's dial home signal for Stargate. Yeah, that'd be really cute. I hope stream isn't laggy or glitchy or anything. I switched browsers, which I don't know if that's gonna cause, you know, much change with my computer. I just know that GX was not cutting it anymore. So I just went, you know what? Fuck it. Firefox. Until it dies or I find something better. So that comes down to her knees. These are not her shoulders. Or, yeah, these are below her knee. Okay. In this design, the bottom pink bit wouldn't be visible, but that's okay. to redo this design. Not redo. I'm gonna use this sketch. I'm gonna fix it up, of course. So I like this sketch, and I think it's cool, and it's a nice dynamic pose. At least it's more dynamic than what I've usually done for my critters. I'm gonna close that door. My top button. All my buttons keep coming undone. This is a very loose shirt. I swear, I'm not a whore. My shirt is. Oh, wait, it wouldn't show all that. It wouldn't go up that high. It would go to about there. And that would be this. No, not that way. And we have this, which goes down to elbow, and then big old chunky paw. Which I still don't know if this bit here is a glove or part of her. I've not decided. That looks bad. I swear I used to be good at streaming. I'm just gonna use this. Hello? This sketch here, because it's here. Just so I have some sort of face to go. There. Don't know if that's gonna be the official hair, but it does work with the tip of her tail. Like, if her hair also looked like that. Like this. Because then that would pay homage to the OG. Original gangsta. I hope that's what it actually means, because I've been saying it and thinking it meant that since I first heard the phrase. Now the bangs, I don't know. Hairpin thing. Just copy paste. Move it over, shrink it, dink it. Since it's not on the same layer, I can still do this. Erase that. Merge it down. What do we got here? We got here I went no hair because I was trying to emulate this other artist's style. I think their name is still Honeybeast. I found them on YouTube. I follow them now on not Twitch. Toy House. Wonderful character designer. And this I just did a dumbass fuck-ass emo cut. Because goths, punks, I love you. I love you guys. I love goth kids. I love punk kids. I love all of y'all. All the baddies. But why are your bangs up here? Like, I can't. Like, I'll look at some alt hairstyles. I'm like, you know what? I want to try and emulate that a little bit. You know, bring some punk into my life. And I see their bangs are either, like, spiked out here or up cut, like, that long. I'm just... No, cut that shit. We are not showing the forehead off. Because if I did cut it that short, hang on, my bangs would be... I would be like this. Like, no. I need hair on my head. I have very short and thin hair as is. I'm not doing a shaved undercut. I mean, if you don't want to do shaved undercuts, fine. I just personally think they look stupid. I don't think people are stupid for having them. because that's not the conversation we're having. I just can't with some hairstyles. I don't want to make her... See, here's the thing with this chick. Do I want to go furry? Like, full furry. Like, muzzle and fangs. No problem. Or do I go kimono mimi? Like, with my... Well, my Sona isn't really kimono mimi. It's more kimono style than kimono mimi. Because I just couldn't bring myself to just draw a person with cat ears. I could not bring myself to do that. Not for me. So I think for this chick, I think we will keep the muzzle because I want to give her like good big old saber teeth. Because I like this face shape. I like the eye shape that I gave her, so we are just going to, what is that, this one, and just decapitate her a little bit. Plan on making any actual language. Just don't have the time and brain power. I mean, that's how half of Lord of the Rings got started. It's because Tolkien is just a language nerd. So he created the Elvish language and the Dwarven language. Just, that's how literally all of Lord of the Rings started, because he liked language. He was a linguist. So then that means if we're going furry, that means she has cheek whiffs. Muzzle, not just a face. Come on. There we go. That means these would actually have claws too. There we go. No, I don't have to keep this eye shape, it was just the shape of the model, but I really did like the way it looked here, so I think I will keep... Let's add another layer. This... good. Like the complementary country with green in the paint. Yeah, I really liked this design too when I first saw it. Shit, almost 10 years ago now, I saw this adoptable in a batch. I was like, damn, that's so cute. And all of the other ones were slowly getting adopted, and I just like, I wasn't really big in adopting at the time. So I was like, you know what, I'll just save it and then look back on it every once in a while. And she stayed available. Well, she, in air quotes. The design was still available, and I went, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do something nice for myself. So I adopted them. Just on a whim. It cost me like $5. love this. I love pink and teal. And it's just, oh my god, it's pink. I don't usually design characters with wildly ranging color palettes. The only character I have with the most, like the craziest color palette, the only character I can think of off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure I have others. Here, let me bring them up. No, he doesn't even have the craziest color palette anymore. Oh, her. Oh god, yep. And I designed this one. I designed Thora. I did not create her species. She is a shrimpian. Or... yeah, she's a shrimpian, or a shrimp dragon. And I based her off of a peacock mantis shrimp. So their color palette is crazy. If I have her original I think her original design was a lot crazier. Yeah, I didn't adopt her. I created that bonkers ass design myself. Where is it? Do I not have it anymore? I'm an idiot. Anyway. This is the character with the craziest color palette. If anyone does fan art of her, for like art fight or whatever, bless your soul. You have permission for me to tack on complicated character, because you can do that for extra points on your attack. Please do that when you draw her. Get the points you deserve. Because, I mean, look at all this texturing that I added. And her tail. Like, this art piece doesn't do her tail justice. Now, let me bring up this other piece. Yeah, this is her, like, full tail design. It's got 3 colors in it. The blue, the light teal, and this darker green. I usually have natural fur tones. Yeah, usually I have natural fur tones too. It's just for Thora, since she's based on a peacock mantis shrimp, it would be a disservice to all mantis shrimps across the world to not give her crazy colors. And her tail, oh my god. So if she's on the page, if she's on my art fight this year, depending on the themes, and you draw her, I'm okay with you just doing the line art. Or, you know, if you do color her, please check the complicated color, like the complicated character box. Give yourself the credit you deserve, because holy god, do not wish that on anybody. Ooh, I could vinyl scratch her hair. But then how do you do the bangs? Because that's what I tried to do here. That's more floppy. Yeah, that's like vinyl scratch. But, you know, vinyl scratch is a unicorn, so she could have just the that. This chick is not a unicorn. So, what are we doing? Get more creative with the characters. And we are out of Thai tea. This is a sad day. Rest in peace, Thai tea. we could drink this. This is Peach King Monster. Best flavor other than original. Because the watermelon one is very hit and miss. The watermelon one, you gotta be careful which one you get. Because if you grab the wrong watermelon, it tastes like ass. You have to get the fireworks one. The can with the fireworks design on it. That's a good watermelon. The other one with the red and black, no. That one is awful. That makes her eye really big. The more I'm looking at her, the less I'm thrilled with the muzzle. So what I might do actually is I might make it a little bit smaller. A? Alright. I was on the wrong wire. Me. No, I'm using the wrong tool. I don't want to, like, goofy movie this one where, like, we have characters that are just a legit regular human being with just maybe ears and that. I still am not a huge fan of that. I don't like that. Like, I don't care how cute you think Roxanne or Goofy is. That character design style just does not sit well with me. Alright, now let's figure out her bangs. Her hair is doing this. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. Just so the intrigue isn't completely taken away from the rest of her body. Because you gotta think about silhouette. Alright, let's just take this color. Minus that, there we go. Okay, that's not a bad silhouette. Neck is a little bit too long. There we go. That's proper. That's the proper length. I think. That's a little too big. Let's just. What are we looking at here, boys? If you're ever stuck on a character's design and like you have no idea what to do, try. Try this. Black it out. Just your silhouette. And then, alright. What looks interesting? Does this look good? Zoom out a little bit. Because that would match the bottom of her hair. And then we could have some sort of undertoned nonsense going on here. Like, that... Oh my god, first try? I don't hate that. I'm just not quite... Hang on, let's... There. Okay, so I'm realizing her arm is a bit broken. There we go. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Fixed. And since she's a Wolverine, she's gonna be short, which is gonna be so funny. The only thing since she is a Wolverine, we can't be having this slim figure. As much as I liked this sketch for my sauna, for her, she's gonna be fluffy and scruffy. Fluffy, scruffy, scrappy. Scrappy. And stocky. So, I'm gonna have to fill out her figure a little bit. See, now this isn't a bad design. I do like this design. I also really like this outfit. So we're gonna have to fill out her figure a little bit. Especially if I'm gonna give her a more animalistic face. That means she's gonna have fur on her arms. That's on the wrong layer. Does cover up a little bit of her figure, but that's okay. Because at the end of the day, it's night, and nothing else matters. So by this design's logic, that means her... Actually, I might just make them a they-them. I'm pretty sure they're... What? What happened? Hello? It says interlink connection, but then the, playback glitched. Are we still here? Alright, sound off if you can still hear me. Alright, Twitch. Get off the dime. Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? Still live? Okay, so it's just the playback video is glitching out. Okay, that... I've had Twitch crash on me several times before, and it pissed me off. Pissed me off. Okay, so we're still here. You can still hear me. It's still live. It's just my view, my playback thing is glitchy. All right, let me. I do not believe you, but let's check. Okay. Yep, okay. We're dead. Phew. If I had like several webcams, I would just have a cat cam just for her, because usually she's sleeping right here, and it's adorable. The beacons are lit. The beacons of Minas Tirith. Gondor calls for aid. Ow! I know that didn't look right on stream, but that was just directly into my eye. Ah. Alright, so back to the actual work. I'll figure out how to draw the ears later. So that means the bangs do that, and then the hair very hang on. I know this how this looks. I just bear with me. This is very rudimentary. I swear I'm a professional artist and character designer. I swear I am. And I can say professional because I've made money designing characters. Adoptables. Just highly reputable credentials that I have. We are trained professionals. Now stay calm. We are going around the leaf. Oh my god, I feel like half of my generation doesn't even understand that reference because I grew up in a time machine, apparently. Like, I make a lot of references that millennials will understand. But then again, I'm a very early Gen Z. Peachy Keen. Oh my god, if you are of age and you are like new to alcohol, I highly suggest soju. But if you want the soju flavor, or like especially the peach soju, but you don't want the alcohol, just drink like the Monster Ultra Peachy Teen, or get a soda, a Japanese, Korean soda flavor. I am so sorry. The Ramune is good too. Get a Japanese soda because I swear to God, soju tastes exactly like this, but without the alcohol burn. Oh, it's so good. Now soju does come in other flavors. The plain one isn't bad. I'm just not the biggest fan of it because I'm like same with Ramune. The plain Ramune isn't bad. It's just, why would I have the plain Ramune when I can have Merun? So now this is good too. This is fantastic. I love the melon flavor of Ramune. The only thing, I hate drinking this on stream, and I won't open it here because you gotta like crack it, and I've had more than 5 of these just explode on me. Just spilling everywhere. So it's like, ah, damn! So I highly suggest if you're gonna try Ramune for the first time, open it over the sink. Do it over the sink. Your carpet will thank me. We do this and that, and then, ooh, and then this. Because I've just been needing something to chill out to recently because a lot of things just haven't been chill. I've been listening to a lot of Steven Universe soundtracks. Like, just the Steven Universe songs on repeat, and I just... oh God, I needed that. Very relaxing, but the downside is I get them stuck in my head. So like for the past few days I've just been singing Just Let Us Adore You by the Diamonds and Something New. That's the song that Ruby and Sapphire sang about Garnet. Very fun. It's so frustrating because I'm just doing the dishes and I got in my head, just let us adore you. Yes, yes, we know that you're not her, but you were hers. You knew what it meant to love her, and you remind us so much of her. It's not bad, it's just I'm doing things. I'm doing things. Where did we go? What did we do? Think we made something entirely new. And it wasn't quite me, and it wasn't quite you. I think it was someone entirely new. Like, oh, that's cute. Character is now fighting. I'm going to, like I said earlier, but I'll say it again. I'm going to theme my characters this year. Whatever the art fight teams are going to be, I'm gonna pick I'm only gonna have characters that reflect those themes. Because you can archive characters on Toy House, so not on Toy House. Oh my god, you can do that on Toy House. On art fight, you can archive characters if you don't want them visible at all times. I have a few characters that are archived. Pardon. And depending on what the teams are going to be, and depending on what team I'm going to join, I want to like pit characters that kind of either reflect, embody, or have those themes, depending on what they are. Now, if it's like cyberpunk versus steampunk like it was one year, I'm cooked because I don't have any cyberpunk or steampunk characters, and I'm just, damn it! Alright, well then, if that's the case, then I'll just go fuck myself. I hate steampunk. Of all of the punks aesthetics out there, steampunk annoys me the most. And it's purely for... It's purely just for stupid reasons. I fully understand that. My reasoning for not liking steampunk is very stupid. I know everyone loves steampunk, everyone loves rusty browns, cogs, and gears, and wearing top hats and goggles and whatnot. Everyone loves the Victorian aesthetic, but I'm sitting here like, if all of your technology runs on Steam, why is everything metal? Because why would you do that? It's like, if the world never went past steam combustion, it's like, if the world never went past steam combustion, we wouldn't wear gears and cogs because they would rust. And if everything is rusty, that means everything is oxidized and, you know, full of iron. And if anything is oxidized and full of iron, if you even get a paper cut size thing from a little gear, guess what? You got tinnitus. And Victorians were not known for their medical prowess. Famously, anyway, the Edwardian era was a little bit more technological. Well, like, a lot of modern inventions came from the Edwardian era. So, my problem with steampunk, the steampunk aesthetic, is purely because I just think it's stupid. But it's fine if you like it. I'm just being pedantic. Man, I'm gonna put her official ref. Their official ref. I'm misgendered by... What's this? Oh, I tried to do their feral design. Aw. Well, that didn't work. you say I was different? And you hadn't before? Of course not. When would I have ever? I'm so sorry, no, no, don't be. And now you're here forever. What about you? What about me? Well, you're here too. We're here together. I'm not quite liking the design so far, and it's mostly because the cheek wefts are driving me absolutely insane. I don't know what to do here. So we're just gonna block out the face shape since the mustard is more squared off, but also angular. Well, I don't hate it, because then she could, they could have white hair and then some sort of undertone to the bangs, at least. Oh, that's not bad, that's not bad. My biggest gripe with Steven Universe, because I'm thinking about it, my biggest gripe with Steven Universe, to this day, is that my girl Jasper never got a song. And I'd understand. You know, the voice actress is really pulling a gruff voice for Jasper, and that's not like her normal voice. Her normal voice is like Allura from Voltron, because that's the same voice actress. It's the same voice actor. Which is funny. It's the funniest thing to me. But I'm just, oh, no. Why doesn't Jasper get a song? Like, Lapis got a few songs. The Diamond gets several songs. So we know their society is not adverse to singing. Which is weird, because then the Lazalis that we meet, like the rebel Lazalis that we meet in future, they're like, if you want us to be singing like pearls, it's like, girl, the Diamonds sing. Shut up. Sit down. Maybe it's just a societal thing. I don't know. But my girl Jasper, no song. No nothing to her. Just, no. I want him better for Jasper. Justice for Jasper. You can't tell, she's my favorite. My boo. My Shayla. I'm gonna make the hair just a little bit bigger. Wait a minute. I'm just realizing something. Is this hairstyle? Hold on. Where are... Oh, I just exited out that one. Where is... Okay, so it's not, but it's close enough. The hair was reminded me of my Rhodonite OC, but it's not. It's a similar shape because of this squared off bit, but it's not the same. Okay. I need to redo these refs. If man, I was Team Crystal last year for Art Fight. Why didn't I upload any of my Steven Universe OCs? Why didn't I do that? So stupid. That would have been perfect. Oh well. Okay. If we're keeping... We should keep this shape language. The star... This... The star-esque shape language. If we keep this up... Very pointed, very rough, rudimentary... But also keep it somewhat rounded. Hang on, let's round off these edges. Yeah. Let's say, okay, so this is like the overall shape language that we're going for. Let's just keep this in mind when designing her. Done. Like, I'm very pro pronouns, okay? But I'm sorry. I'm going to flip up when it comes to... Because I've never gender bent any of my OCs before. It's only recently when I've started gender bending a few of them. This is good. The ear shape, I'm not quite okay with just yet. It does kind of disrupt the silhouette a little bit. But if we just say F it, we ball, and then just repeat. I always thought I might be bad, now I'm sure that it's true. 'Cause I think you're so good, and I'm nothing like you. Look at you go, I just adore you. I wish that I knew what makes you think I'm so special. Half of what you think of me, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love. When I say the way you look, shaken by how long it took, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like you. I love that song so much. I love that song. I love the song Love Like You so much. I love Rose Quartz. I don't care what anybody says. I love Rose Quartz. I love her. If she weren't a married... If she weren't a married woman. I love her so much. I also love her voice actor. Her VA is so amazing. The voice of Megara from Disney's Hercules. People have made animatics of Rose singing, I Won't Say I'm in Love, while the other crystal gems are the muses, especially Garnet. Garnet is one of the muses in that music video. I love it so much. Okay. in parts, this is good. Like, this eye is good. This is good. This is good. This is good. The ear is throwing me off a little bit. I don't know what the ear is throwing me off. And this back of the hair isn't quite matching with the rest of the head. Like, here on the side, it looks good. So, maybe it's because I'm doing the wrong... Like, I'm doing cartoon logic where, like, even if a character... Like, the way that it looks in the back, and then they turn their head, or no matter which way they're looking, the hair is the exact same on either side. You know, like, cartoon logic. I'm this close to downloading a bunch of SpongeBob sound effects for all my videos, but I feel like a fraud because I don't watch SpongeBob. Like, I'm not a fan of it. I just know it from memes, and all the memes are hilarious. The SpongeBob memes are hilarious, but I've never actually. Look, I've watched a few episodes of SpongeBob. I'm not a fan of SpongeBob, and nothing wrong with it. It's great. It's actually really freaking funny. I just, since, you know, I'm more of a fan of shows like Ed, Edd and Eddy, but their sound effects are a bit much for my purposes. Even though the cat roar thing would be is if you watch an episode of SpongeBob, and then you watch an episode of Ed, Edd and Eddy, the sound design of both shows are very unique, like, very, very unique. But only SpongeBob's been memed to death. Been, like, memed to hell. I think it's because it was more mainstream than Ed, Edd and Eddy. I don't know. Or maybe this is just a sign that SpongeBob is just superior. I refuse to accept that fact. I think Ed, Edd and Eddy is a much funnier show. But then again, like, the memes for the SpongeBob memes got me howling. Just cackling. Especially that scene, oh my god. Especially that bit where Mr. Krabs is going to the hospital. And like, we just can't have someone lying out in the hallway. We're trying to run a business here. Put him out in the parking lot. And it's like, that's what it's like to not have insurance in America. It's like, the worst part is Mr. Krabs is a veteran. So it's like, Yep, that's healthcare in America. Looking anywhere but at the truth. Oh god, that clip was so... I showed it to my mom. She was, like... She was seething. I was laughing. Because, you know, if you don't laugh at your problems, they're gonna consume you. Oh my god. But my mom's also a veteran, so she's like... So she watched it and went, yep. And I was like, oh, okay. I just wanted to show you a funny joke. When you try to show your parents a funny meme, but it turns into a lecture. She didn't lecture me. Thank goodness. She just gave the universe a death glare, and I was in the general vicinity, and I was like, uh-oh. I felt the heat coming off of her death glare. Okay. Okay. Garma Daddy Likey. the rest of their head. I should redo my Steven Universe OC reps anyway, because I have a lot of design ideas for them. And I love my version of Malachite, and I absolutely love my Alexandrite. But I have a bunch of like other mini fusions in between. And I also love Steven Universe, and I need to look up when Lars of the Stars is coming out, because when Lars of the Stars comes out, that'll be, you know, a good revival for the Steven Universe fandom. I'm not going to give them Booba anymore. But then again, if you look at how I draw the guys, like the way I draw guys, I also kind of give them Booba, because I don't know how to draw pecs without them being, you know, boobs. I don't know how to draw. Because, like, this is how I draw pecs. And this is how I draw booba. Minuscule difference, like, it's only, what, like 2 inches? Just a few pixels, like 2 squares across is the difference I put between pecs and boobs. Boob and boob. All boob. All boob was good. All boobs are beautiful. Everyone have boob. Love and respect each other. Love yourself. Accept yourself. Have y'all seen that Vine? I feel like I'm insane by quoting all these Vines. Is it the one where this homeless guy with a cardboard sign, I don't even know what it says, and like a rubber chicken in the middle of a street going, love yourself. Accept yourself. I don't know what the fuck was going. Was it a rubber chicken or was it a banana peel? I don't remember. I think it was a rubber chicken because it was pretty long and it was yellow. So I think it was a cardboard sign and a rubber chicken just going, accept yourself. Like, you gotta love them. Sometimes homeless people are cool. I don't even think the guy was homeless. I think he was just high. I don't even know. He just kind of, you know, he just kind of looked the part. Okay, we're going more furry and less beastly with this design. Now, if we go more beast, I can draw beastly characters. Obviously, I can draw beastly characters. But it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Are we doing like cartoon? Like cartoonish furry? Because this is fine. I do like this. But I also just really like giving them this big, beautiful mane. And then peeking out of it, we can have like a big ol' spiked collar with a chain. That'd be cool, and then with, you know, the fur peeking out. See, because that's cool. And then I like just have the mane. Filling in the back. Like, come on, that looks cool. But I also, this is brilliant. But I like this. You know, it's just Either way, bitch is gonna have a choker. And bitch is a gender neutral term. Say it with me. Bitch is gender neutral. Same with being a bastard, a dick, an asshole, gender neutral term. You can call anyone. You can call anyone that. That's all apparently you can't say the C word. Yes, I know it is a derogatory thing, but how is C word not accepted, but dick is? I'm just going back to my Irish roots here. I just slammed my desk and now the dogs are barking. Heaven forbid a girl have hobbies. Okay, I need to use the bathroom, so we're just going to, hang on, let's get this big old pink color. BRB. Bathroom. Alright. Don't set the chat on fire while I'm gone. Dixie! Always wash your hands. And say hi to Kitty. Say hi, Hawk. Yeah. Yeah. Slight wardrobe change, that shirt. I mean, it's that jacket thing is fine as a shirt over things, or like just a little jacket, but when it's by itself, man, it's so cold. Even though it's not really that cold out, but it's cold in my room, and I wanted something a little bit more substantial to comfort myself. Pokemon Go. I don't play Pokemon Go anymore. I got rid of the app, but when it was out, I was Team Instinct. Okay. Save, because I forgot to save check. How we doing? I should drink more water. I keep forgetting to drink water. I'm kind of bad about it. Okay, chat, that's fine. Oh, I forgot the little, shit. Ball. Sock. Ball. I knew fortune cookie I had was full of bad lie. That's not racist or nothing. That's just a quote from Hetalia. Which may or may not be racist, depending on who you ask. I thought Hetalia is hilarious. I think Hetalia is hilarious, but I know a lot of people think it's wildly offensive. And I understand why a lot of people would think that, because it does make fun of a lot of different countries, but it's like historical satire. Now, the manga, on the other hand, is a little bit different because the manga actually does make fun of and make some very racist stereotypes against Koreans. Imagine that. The Japanese manga treats Korea, you know, Korea is written like a pervert. It's like, that chases after Japanese women, and we're like, oh, really? Yeah. Korea does that, Japan? Korea did that, Japan. Really? So, yeah, I can't speak for the manga or the manga artist, but I do know from what I watched in the show, which was taking place during World War I, World War II, at least the part that I was watching, it was really funny, and it introduced a lot of things from history that I didn't even know about. Like, the whole sending condoms to Russia. Like, what the fuck was going on? Who looked at that battle plan and went, yes, this is a good idea. This is psychological warfare. That'll show them. And then Russia got the last laugh in saying that they were too small. Say, huh? How long is 25 centimeters anyway? Also, a legit plan to demoralize the Japanese army during World War II by America was to paint Mount Fuji red. But it was scrapped because they didn't know how to do it. They couldn't figure out how to paint Mount Fuji red. And in Italia, they were like, wow, this was a lot easier when it was just a drawing. Oh, he's so stupid! America was so dumb, and I love that. So funny. I think the World Conference can convene by solving all of the world's problems by talking excessively. About using global warming to enslave humanity thing, I am introduced to the super awesome, what was it? Super Global Man! I agree with America. Why don't you say something, Russia? They'll all listen to you if you start talking. What? Why me? No thanks. Hi, cat. Hi, hello. I'm just talking about how the anime Italia is really funny. Even though I know a lot of people say it's racist and it's just built on stereotypes, but making fun of stereotypes is like part of the humor for Hetalia. At least in the show, anyway. I can't, like I said, I can't speak for the manga. How is this? You found my YouTube the other day. Nice. Looked up Medibane animation tutorials and you showed up. Well, I do have several live streams of me animating using Medibane and Fire Alpaca, so that's probably why. This was so much easier in the sketch when it didn't have to make sense. Also, you know, the stereotypes that they talk about in Hetalia, for most countries, aside from Korea, everyone who's from that country would just be like, yeah. Those stereotypes are 100% accurate, especially the American ones. The American stereotypes, like, can confirm, yeah, we are all like, most of America is like this. This is like the general population. You have both on your PC? Yep, I use both. Only because I used to use Fire Alpaca exclusively, and then I switched over to Medibang. For the only reason I switched over to Medibang from Fire Alpaca is because Medibang is in dark mode, naturally, and I was like, oh yes, finally. I can ease my suffering. Dark mode. But Fire Alpaca has some... I kept Fire Alpaca because it has some really nice features, like onion skin mode, and different texture brushes that just aren't available on Medibang. But Medibang also has some brushes that just aren't available in Fire Alpaca, vice versa. And their, what's it called? Their files, their raw files, are compatible. If you make a Medibang file, it can transfer over to Fire Alpaca easily. There's no convert. You don't need to convert the file because they're both compatible, which is very cool. I hope they never change that. I gotta close that door, man. We got some chicken in the crock pot. I think it's turkey, actually. We got bird. We got some big old bird in the crock pot, and it smells so good, and it's making me hungry. And it's only 12. It's only 12:25. I don't need to be that hungry. I ate a few hours ago. I had banana pancakes with chalky chips. It was very good. Maybe instead of this raccoon stripe feather decal, like what's in the original sketch, I might just have like a little thing that is here, and it's like a little accessory. I don't know. It doesn't look good from this angle. Maybe from the side I can make it look good. Very interesting. Do you have any tips? Someone told me to start small animations like blinking head turn. Head turns are the hardest thing you will ever try to animate. Anytime where a shape is shifting, they're the hardest. Eyes blinking is easy. It's only like at bare minimum it's 3 frames. Or maybe 4, depending on who you ask. You got eye open, eye closed. And most people would... And then eye half open. For for blinking. That's like bare minimum, but then some people will add when the eye opens back up, they'll add an extra frame between. This is very rudimentary sketch. Between eye open, they'll have eye like wide open. Like they're wider than resting. So when the blink opens back up, well, when the eyes open back up, because it adds like a little bit more bounce to the animation. You don't have to animate on 24 frames a second on 2s. And now that is the usual standard, animating on 2s at 24 frames. But then it's like, why would you do animation on 2s at 24 frames when you can just do animation on 12 frames? Because it's basically the same thing, you know? And what it means by on 2s, meaning, say you have a frame, and you have another frame, of the same thing. You just copy paste it twice. This is animating on 2s, meaning each frame is copied twice at 24 frames per second. So each frame lasts 2 seconds because it's copy pasted twice. I think, and this is just my personal, very limited view on animation, I personally think this is stupid. Because then why would you do 2s on 24s when you can just do 1 on 12? Common denominator. Now, and again, I'm not a professional animator. I'm not technically even an animator. I just do animatics. I just make a PNG move on Medibang. Not on Medibang. I just make PNGs and make them move on Movavi. So it's not even like I know what I'm talking about, because I don't. So basically, if you want to make something look like it's moving, smear frames are your best friend. Because it's like, if you want to move something from here, like, let's just do like a stupid little, no, stop it. Arrow that points from here and then swoops to here. To do the frame in between these, what you would do is just kind of smoosh it a little. Not like that. Just a smear. That's why it's called smear framing. A lot of old Looney Tunes and old Disney was animated by smear framing. Which is like, in order to make something move, instead of drawing each individual frame of it moving, you would just draw a blur or a smear of it moving. Or you would draw multiple copies of it moving on a single frame. Like, having someone... There's literally an old animation. If you watch old Fantasia, you'll find it. Of this guy was spinning around. And instead of drawing him... like individually spinning around, what they did is drew like multiple copies of his arm and eyes. It looks like an Eldritch horror. But when you like rotate these, and then he like landed in an elevator, guess what? He went from starting to move to spinning, and then you just draw a few frames like this on like slightly different angles. There you go. He spun around. And this is like very rudimentary. Like when you finally do get to like animating it, there's a little bit more nuance to it. Take a shot every time I say rudimentary. There's a little bit more nuance to animation. It's just from my very limited perspective. You can cheat. You can cheat the system. Also, what a lot of people, like, a lot of industry animation, instead of redrawing the frame every single time, right there, let's just have someone talk. Instead of redrawing each frame by hand, like in the old days, what they would do is that they would just have the basic animation. And then when they get to the official animation, they vector the line art. So then instead of, you know, me coming over here, you know, that's on the same layer. Hold on. Instead of me just trying to redraw the frame exactly the way it was, for them talking, what they would do is that they would just alright, hang on. So they would just copy paste and then go in and edit the vector. And then you would save. And then you would just copy paste again. Move the vector lines. And you can do this on like Toon Boom on any... You can do this on like any actual animation program. I don't know if Medibang can vector, can like do vectors or anything like that, because it's mostly... Medibang is for manga. That's what Medibang was made for. You know, it's bugging me. Medibang was made for making comics and manga. So that's its focus. If you have an actual animation program, vectoring the line art is going to be a lot easier. And that's for like main animation and cleanup. If you just want to do roughs, like rough animation, same with keyframes and thumbnailing, Medibang and FileAlpaca are the easiest. Medibang's the easiest. If you want things to like move with your animation, try FireAlpaca. However, FireAlpaca, when you save an animation, it does not save as a transparent background. It does not have a transparent background. So what you would do is then you can make all the frames, because it has onion skin mode, which means when you draw a thing and add a new layer, this bottom layer will automatically turn transparent. So then when you draw on top of it, you can line it up a little bit better. Medibang doesn't have onion skin mode, which is unfortunate, but I get it. It's meant for manga, it's not for animation. It does have a lasso eraser mode, which is so helpful. Also, what a lot of people do for animation, if you don't have a vector thing, we're going back to this phrase, to this pose, because it's usually my standard. Instead of like redrawing each frame, what you can do, and what I do a lot also when I'm animating, to have something move for the next frame, just copy paste it as your next frame and then just select thing and then move it. It's basically the same as vectoring, just, you know, you have to do it manually. See there? We got the lines match up perfectly, except the arm is moving. But if you just wanted to do a very simple movements. Now, if a character like fully moves, you're gonna have to redraw that and maybe do a little bit of smear framing. And smear framing looks awful when you're drawing it. There's plenty of tutorials on how to do smear framing, but when you do it right, because keep in mind, each frame is only gonna last like a second. Not even a second, because if you're working on 12 frames a second, that means each frame, if you draw 12 frames, that's 1 second. So if you have 12 frames of a person moving from here to here on like a, you know, as like a walk cycle, that's only 1 second, you know. You know, because heads bounce when they walk. When you walk, people bounce. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's only 10 frames. This is not even a full second of animation. So it doesn't matter if one singular frame looks kinda bad. It's okay. No one's gonna notice unless they're going in like one of those psychopaths and just doing, ah, look at this ugly frame, let's meme it. And then guess what? You have a meme now. And it's funny. Don't High Guardian spice yourself. Your animation budget. As long as you're not doing what High Guardian Spice tried to do, you're doing great. Now I have a million frames that I'm just not using. Here we go. I'm just gonna try. I don't know if this character, I might change their name, because I'm actually giving them an official design. I don't know if they're gonna be up, available for Art Fight this year. They're already on Art Fight, but, you know, with the theming thing that I want to do, I might just archive them a little bit so I can, you know, slowly revamp their profile. Alright, now since they're a Wolverine, that means they're pretty stocky. Paying an artist, he's just working for, doing the same job he did for the military. Loves animation and can actually spot how many frames were used. That's impressive, actually. You know, it's funny, a lot of Disney's old animations were actually propaganda for the US government. Like, the government paid Disney to make a lot of animations for them, especially during I say especially during World War II. Well, guess what? That's because Disney was founded during the 40s, so why? Yeah, there's a oh, I can't believe you haven't seen it. Well, maybe you haven't. If you want to see some old animations, you're like, oh, I'll never be as good as Disney. Honey, you don't want to be like Disney. Let me introduce to you an old Donald Duck cartoon called The Fuhrer's Face, where Donald Duck is a Nazi. He had a dream he was a Nazi, and this is what it was like working in the factories. And it's just, oh my god, if you ever hear the audio of Donald Duck saying Heil Hitler, it's so funny. It sounds awful, and it is. There was a lot of racism in that old animation. That was just like, oh my god! Oh my god, that was okay back then. And that's just one of them. That's the one we watched in class about World War II. Oh my god. There are several others where they draw Mussolini, you know, as this Italian stereotype. Don't even get me started on the Japanese stereotypes, because we saw it. Like, we were watching it in class, but, like, where my school was, my teacher's computer was, like, having Wi-Fi trouble, so it would just pause. And we freeze-framed on a Japanese soldier, and they looked exactly how you think they would. Japanese stereotype and all. It was... We were all like, oh my god! Trying hard not to laugh, because it was just so terrible. And the teacher was like, hang on, why is my computer freezing? And we were just, oh my god. And yes, I probably just got this VOD nuked because I said what the actual words... Because I said the words. I said the real words. Oh my god, how dare I be historically accurate when talking about animation history. I'm so fucking done with all that. If you're trying to be so politically correct, you circle back around to... What's it called? I just had the word. Darn it. Censorship. Yeah. If you're trying to be so politically correct and so inclusive, you circle back around to censorship, and guess what? You're just as bad as the other guys. So it's like, come on. Come on. Ugh, you can find them on YouTube. And just as a spoiler alert, a little bit of a spoiler for that Donald Duck cartoon, he wakes up and he is an American. It was just a dream that he was in Germany. And it was so funny. There's so many memes of Donald, because like he wakes up from his dream and he sees like a silhouette and he's like, ah! Oh, it's just the Lady Liberty. Oh, mwah. Aren't I glad to be a citizen of the United States of America? And based on what I know about American history and their involvement with Nazis, specifically Nazi scientists, that joke has so many layers. So many layers. You gotta laugh at them, your own misfortune, because if you don't laugh, they will consume you. I can't make them an hourglass, but I don't think they're pear-shaped either. Even though most ferrets are pretty bottom-heavy in their design, Wolverines are kind of the opposite of that. Hang on, do I still have some Wolverines in my collages? Collage. I think it's this one. No? Okay, it's not that one. It's not that one, it's not that one, it's not that one. Is it this one? Barely. Okay. Yeah, you see, like these are Stoats and Martins, and they're pretty bottom heavy. And oh, I don't have a full Wolverine here. Wolverines are pretty stocky all around. They're kind of like bears. They don't really have much of a figure, but they do have short legs, a full body, very stubby. They're a excellent rectangle is what they are. I mean, look at this. I mean, that is an excellent rectangle. That's literally their shape. So whenever I draw this character, I'm gonna have to think about keeping them the proper rectangle. with stubby little legs. Okay, so let's just erase that, and then we'll do. See, because this sketch was originally for a different character that I decided to repurpose the outfit for. So outfit-wise, this works, but for the actual figure, it's just gonna have to take some reworking. And this was just that, so I'm gonna move that. I'm not gonna move that over there. And start with shape languaging. This excellent rectangle. And then maybe just the leg. Big old chunky paws, because Wolverines, especially, oh my god, badgers have such long claws, but they're diggers. Even the babies, look at these big old chunky paws. Look at the big chunky paws on the baby. Look at the baby. Apex Predator my ass. I'ma pet that dog. Look at the little puppy face. Look at the puppy. Look at the puppy. Man, I want to pet a Wolverine so bad. I have a Wolverine plush, so it's like, oh, they look like a little bear. A little baby. Boop the snoot. Although, if anybody did that to this character, they would be dead. So, like, keep it short and sweet. Short and anything but sweet. And then, what's head shape? Head shape with Wolverine is also an excellent rectangle with a wonderful square and a little circle. Look at that. This is, break it down into shapes. Shape language. Even though the Wolverine is anything but a rectangle type character. Well, they actually kind of are more of a rectangle or a square shape in their personality. They're very sturdy animals, very rugged, very strong. But their personality, like all mustelids, is just what the fuck. Because you do not mess, despite them having more, like, because the way this Wolverine is stanced up, if you were to silhouette his design, it's just a perfect, hang on, let me try this on a different layer. Just a perfect curve. Look at that. What is that? And then you just have it, you know, like little stubby legs. We can't see the rest of the paws, like that. A little bit of the tail peeking out. What is this? Is this an apex predator? What is this? No. It's just a little guy. And then you like just draw on the face a little bit. Small little ears. Small little eyes. Big old snoot. Big old nose. Look at that. There you go. If you want to figure out how to draw a Wolverine, draw a bear and then draw a wolf and then just... There you go. Wolf bear. I mean, just look at the little face. Literally a rectangle. Even in baby. Even in baby form, look at that. Literally a rectangle. With another with beautiful round features. And, well, it's facing down, so its muzzle is a little bit more rounded off. And it is baby, but look at this. Excellent rectangle of a creature. And all its claws point up, and its paws are splayed. It's walking like this, actually, so it can balance on top of the snow, and it won't accidentally dig itself in, despite having long claws. So that's what you do when you're living in an environment that is very snowy. See, now, if you took a badger, like this is an American badger, and dropped it in the Wolverine's territory, that poor badger would not survive a minute. Not only because it's not used to that level of cold, but also its claws. It would just accidentally dig right in. Now, the Wolverine probably wouldn't be opposed to that, just dig under the snow and travel that away. But it's not really meant to survive in those areas. These animals are very adaptable. If I could dress like this all the time, I still probably wouldn't, but I would consider it on occasion. And I'm adding a lot more spikes to my character because shape language. So yeah, I know this looks weird. Just because a character is rectangle coded, that doesn't mean they still can't be shapely. Because Donatello from Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is very much a rectangle, and he is still quite shapely. So we still got some square language going on with the hair. Like if you break it down, it's got squares and triangles. We got a square and a triangle. Oh my god. And the triangle shape language. You know what happens when you combine a triangle and a square? Guess what? You get a pyramid. Like for my OC, my Sona is a cat, and she's a triangle circle. You know what you get when you combine a triangle and a circle? An ice cream cone. I can't get enough of this little guy. Look at God. Just the oh my goodness. You know, that's fix some of the sketch. There we go, just so it works a little bit. I like the idea of the fishnets peeking out from the top because that's just peak design, but if I want to make them look more like a Wolverine and like make them more stocky and whatnot, that means we're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of this cinched waistline. And they have a cropped vest, so that also covers. You know, what I could do, though, because I'm not liking how that looks, what I can do is I'll just take this. And then just fix the legs. Because the legs are a little bit long. Let's just take, because this is a little bit too spread out. Hang on, let's take this. Put it there. We cannot sacrifice booty. We will not be, whoops, we will not be giving up any booty real estate. Because as we saw in those reference photos, Wolverine's got booty. Just like bears. Wolverines are kind of... They're like bears with more fuck you energy. Okay, are we still alive? I'm always afeared. Because Streamlabs is going fine, but sometimes Twitch is just, you know, just conked out on me. Without having the common courtesy of giving me a notice. Any sort of involvement. I almost said something else, but it would have been a quote to another thing. Just, I probably shouldn't say that on stream. I should probably just watch that movie. Anyway, different discussion. So actually, if we take this, and then no. As much as I would love loof that you could bury your face in, to have this outfit, I think we're gonna have to keep the floof to a minimum, just so we can show off more of the outfit. Good. Now, if I also... Ooh, okay, solved it. Solved it. If we just... but then we lose some of the... If I cut that part of the leg and then bring the rest up, that'd be like a knee-high situation. We do lose out on a bit of the fishnet action. Just a bit, though. Not a whole lot. Let me move this over. This is irritating me. Yeah, if we do that, keep the crop top connector, like, if, ooh, I actually have seen shirts like this. If this vest and bra set thing are connected, like, it's not actually a bra set, it's just like a clip that is under the jacket. That'd work. So that it covers up the chest, keeps them kind of androgynous if we just get rid of booba. Alright, alright. 07 in the chat for booba. No more boobs. It's like a betrayal of my character. Okay, now the torso is still long. Let's just get rid of that. The torso is still really long. I want it to be a cropped jacket. If we have a cropped jacket that, like, goes to here. Or something. That way we can still... Palms. Okay. Palms line up with Rundle. And then we can actually have the fishnets go all the way up. To there. And then maybe even come out here a little bit. So it's like a fishnet cover. And that covers up a lot of their patterning. Yeah, that would cover up the... To avoid this unfortunate this unfortunateness, what we can do is okay. I just realized anatomy-wise, this is really low. So if we hike it up just a wee to make it a little bit more, there we go. That's where it would be for Peck and Booba. So, shit. We have all of that, and we still have this. However, given the naturally stocky nature of Wolverines, or just Musteloids in general, we may have to either shrink-a-dink the waistline to make it more rectangular, which I don't want to do, or we add, how would I do this? We add a bit of a tummy, and then that would be more like a... Okay, this just looks awkward. Because even though I didn't draw them like that, they kind of look pregnant. Even though the stomach I gave them isn't exclusively pregnant. What I'd have to do is if I give them a tummy, I'd have to go back and like fix all the legs and the arms to make them also fat, because this is not a fat person arm. I know, I have them. Fat person arm does this. There was a lot more. It is slightly thinner on the joints, but it's also, you know, got a little bit more sag around the joints as well. So I don't have... Here's the thing, I have fat people arms, but I don't, like, that's just biceps. I don't have fat people forearms. My forearms and wrists are really skinny. Same with my hands. I don't have, like, fat people hands. Like, fat people hands. You know, like little stubby fingies. I don't have those. So the fat distribution system that runs in our bodies is just whack. You know, the longer I stream, the more chances I have of, you know, getting more views, more watch time, more subs, getting up into the algorithm. However, if I stream any longer, I'm going to get hangry because it's lunchtime and I can't just leave to cook lunch and then come back to eat it, because that's gonna take a while. So anyway, we did something. We didn't get anything finished. But you know what? That's okay. It was a lot of talking. A lot of yapping about animation and whatnot. So, I am going to end stream here. Yeah. So, thank you so much for watching. This will be on my YouTube VOD channel, like this Sunday or something like that. Maybe. I don't know. Last stream isn't going up on the VOD channel because it was a no mic stream, and, you know, maybe I'll put it up, but, you know, it's gonna get copyright struck anyway because of, you know, so I was jamming out to some tunes while drawing, and I just don't want to deal with that on my VOD channel. Now, this VOD might get nuked because I said, I almost... No, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, so